Hey, what's up, my brothers and sisters in Christ? Hey, I wanted to bring awareness to something. As Christians, we should always be ready, willing, and able to pray for people on a day to day basis, just in our daily walk in life. And yesterday, I had the perfect example again that just totally reminded me of that, where I did pray for someone and I could feel it really move them. And I felt God really push me internally to say, hey, it's time. It's go time. Make sure you just do it really quick. I was with a friend and they told me they were going through something kind of serious, and it had to do with like potential surgeries and stuff. And so earlier in the morning, I was praying to God and saying, Jesus, help me to, in my day to day walk, if there's a way I can be a reflection of you towards someone, or even just help me with my thoughts, my actions, how I go about making decisions. Please help me to reflect you. Please help me to do that in my day-to-day walk. And so when that opportunity presented itself, I really felt that nudge from God within to say, just make a point to just plant the seed, doesn't matter. And just pray over what they're going through and that God will be with them and bring them peace. And that they can just give them, that the Lord can just help bring the best case scenario to them. So as I'm holding this girl's hands and I'm sitting there praying, my eyes are closed, we're doing our thing, and like as I open my eyes, I just see this girl totally in tears. And before, she just kept trying to play it off like, it's fine, we'll figure it out, like no big deal. But we just sat there and isolated it for a second. It just hit this girl like a wall. Just totally, whatever she's dealing with, it's just all coming out right there. She's very grateful for it. She's very appreciative of it. She's like, thank you so much. Girl's not a believer. But guys, I think that's exactly where we need to be ready for, especially when it's people that are not believers. Be ready to just say, hey, I'm willing to pray over that with you. Would you like that? Just asking that simple question. Just drop that question at people. Guarantee 10 times out of 10, you ask that to someone, even if they're not a believer, they're going to say yes. I think at the end of the day, people really just want to hear from someone, somewhere, something. It's going to be okay. People are really just out there looking for hope. Like, we're out here just hoping and praying that, like, we're going to get through XYZ, that it's going to work out. We're saying, oh shit, I don't know where things are going to go, but I'm trying to figure it out. Us as Christians, we need reminders that God cares for us and loves us all the time. And it's usually a moving moment when it happens to us internally. We're like, oh, like every time I hear a worship song and it's like, God, you love me. It's like on the inside, I'm like, I'm a 5-year-old girl just bawling my eyes out. But on the outside, I'm like, I'm cool. I'm good. So imagine how people that aren't believers, imagine how that affects them when someone is willing to stop and say, you know what? Someone does care for you. Someone eternal that's bigger, who's greater, who's better than anyone else we will ever meet. Someone who's so grandiose and holy, who cares for you. Like, someone said that to me, I would just cry. All right. Imagine how people who are not believers would feel from that. So just be willing to plant that seed, whether they accept it or not. Typically, everyone's going to appreciate that to some degree. So just a reminder, as a Christian, be ready, be willing, and be able to pray for people. A lot of people are in need of that, whether they realize it or not. So just wanted to share that. And I'm trying to be more cognizant of that on a day-to-day walk. 'Cause, like, a lot of people really do appreciate prayer. And we know how powerful prayer is. When 2 or more people are gathered in his name, he's there. I think God is very appreciative of Christians who will make a point to plant that seed, regardless if it's watered or not. It's our job to plant it. It's God's job to water it. Let's make sure we're planting those seeds.